Hey everyone, and happy 4th of July to all you Americans out there. Today, we're going to be discussing Destiny 2's first raid lair prestige mode as a hypothetical, because Bungie has said that there aren't going to be mechanical changes for Eater of Worlds or Spire Stars. So, what I'm going to do today is going to make some hypotheticals on what Bungie could have done, and what I think they could do, if they wanted to make Prestige Eater of Worlds a mechanically changing raid, just like all the other hard mode or prestige mode raids. So, also, I'm going to be introducing some challenge modes, just the way I would do them. So, yeah, without further ado, let us begin. Alright, so the first encounter of Eater of Worlds is going to be the pedestal jumping part, and the change I would make to that is probably just add a couple more pedestals. Nothing too big, nothing special, just a couple pedestals. And on the checkpoint plates, I'd probably add a couple more enemies, maybe an Incendio or a Gladiator, some more Scion Snipers, Legionaries. Just nothing too big, just a little extra. Nothing too big. Our next phase will be the ad killing phase after you finish the pedestals. And this, I think, should have more ads and more majors, kinda to be expected. But to finish this part, there will be 3 major colossi, which you can kill as fast as possible, however you feel. But there will be 1 yellow bar boss level gladiator, and this gladiator boss has a mechanic, just kinda like the way they added a tank to Wrath of the Machine siege engine encounter. This is adding gladiator to the ad killing encounter. Now this gladiator has 2 axes, obviously, but he also has 2 axes on his back, and these 2 axes in his hands can fall out of his hands. And the mechanic here is, to make the axes fall out of his hand, you have to shoot the blades of the axes until they fall out, and then you can pick them up for a swipe attack, a heavy attack, and they do high damage to enemies, which is very cool. And once he drops the first 2 axes, he'll swipe up behind his back and pick up the other 2. Now, once all 4 axes are out of his hands, he's defenseless. He can only punch you, which is not saying much. He'll just run at you all Maul-like and punch you. But you can kill this boss without making the axes fall out of his hand, which is a breather if you want to speedrun. You can just shoot him in the head a bunch with a Darcy or something, and there you go. That's the end of that. Now, the challenge mode will be that for this gladiator, not the colossi, you can kill the colossi right away. For the gladiators, you have to make all 4 axes fall out of his hands, and then kill him with the axe. Very simple, and this will drop 1 extra loot chest, you know, giving you an engram, some shaders, something cool. Now, in the Thunder Shock area where there's the cylinders and they go smashing into the wall, letting out the electric discharge, when you're going from cover to cover, there will be a secret platform somewhere in the middle, and you'll have to be there, and that will drop on this platform there will be a secret platform. Of course I just said that. On this platform there will be a secret loot chest, which will grant you a high chance of exotic engrams, legendary engrams, raid shaders, and that's about it. Now, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this raid. Not saying that the raid is much, but it's something. For Argos Phase 1, there is going to be, instead of 3 crystals to shoot per side, 5 crystals. This will make things much more hectic and more intense. And charging a cranium will still spawn a Minotaur on that side, but taking down all the crystals on one side will spawn a Cyclops or a Hobgoblin of a major variety in between the plates. So like, you have broken, I don't know, Void left. Now, what'll happen is either a Hobgoblin or a major Cyclops will spawn in between, I don't know, Arc and Solar, and you'll have to kill it. Obviously this won't obstruct anything, it'll just make things more difficult. You just shoot him down, it's nothing to be expected. Now, every 10 crystals, or destroying 2 sides of crystals, the Cyclops and Hobgoblin will still spawn, but a Hydra will spawn on 1 random plate. So, this is actually not a major, but it will still cause issues, because it'll spawn on the on the cranium plate, so you'll have to kill it and watch out unless it explodes on you while you're trying to pick up a cranium or charge one. So this can actually also create more hecticness in this encounter. And obviously more enemies will be spawned. And that concludes Argos Phase 1. Very short encounter. And Argos Phase 2, where instead of 3 balls to shoot, I would say 4 balls. Which is fair. There's 4 sides of the prism. Might as well. And then during the damage phase and during the during his barrier break phase, you'll have to avoid more prism barriers and more harpy missiles. And yes, he will do this before the damage phase begins. He will look at you, fire missiles, throw these things at you, and he will become... Argos will actually become an issue during the pre-damage phase, which I think is good. And Hobgoblin and Cyclops snipers will also spawn periodically in between the plates. This is on a timer and not actually on the breaking of something. And after a damage phase and the void reading spike, there will be a Hydra on each plate. Nothing too big, just a regular Hydra. Nothing special. And that will be all the changes for Argos Phase 2. But the challenge mode for Argos Phase 2 is you'll have to kill Argos Phase 2 with no void readings phase. This is very hard. You have to do a double or even triple shield break with 4 balls, which means you have to save your craniums and keep it going, because this will be very difficult. Now, I don't know if you've seen the professional PvE YouTubers do it, but they've done stuff like triple shield breaks, but the average group, this might just get very difficult. So, when you complete this, it'll drop 1 extra loot chest that will guarantee 1 weapon and 1 armor piece. And also shaders, maybe an engram. Nothing too big, but this is a very difficult challenge mode to get a double or even triple shield break to kill the boss, because it's like the no teleport Templar challenge. It's the no shield break Argos challenge. This is very, well, it's the no void readings Argos phase 2. And I think this would really make Argos a truly challenging encounter, because Eater of Worlds, by far, is an incredibly fun raid, but it's easy. Like, I had a raid run yesterday while I was collecting gameplay for this video, and I went on LFG, and we literally got this raid done, first try everything, in 45 minutes, and this was a pickup group, so, yeah, I wouldn't say that's the best of ways to put it, but I think a raid should be a little more difficult, especially with a pickup group. That's just my opinion, though. But I think if the prestige mode was this, things would really become ramped up and difficult. And that would be it. I'd like to thank you for watching the video, and if you enjoyed, please leave a like, a comment, subscribe, and if you didn't like it, leave a comment on what I can improve for next time, and make sure that you stick around for some time in the later. There will be a similar video to this for Prestige Spire Stars. So there's this one for Prestige Eater Worlds, the next one's going to be Prestige Spire Stars. This is all hypothetical, all my opinion, and Bungie has already confirmed they are doing a piece for Prestige Eater Worlds where they're doing the loadout system and some modifiers. I think this would be a more ideal way of doing it, but the way they do it, I'm totally fine. And I'd like to thank you for watching the video again. Have a nice day.